So you don't need to be fighting. Stand still and trust that this force field, this angelic force field, is going to take over for you. And I believe it will lead you into wanting to experience more of that kingdom. It's kind of like you always wished you could have a puppy and you couldn't have a puppy. And today I said, what kind of puppy did you want? And you go, a golden retriever. And I give you a golden retriever. You fall in love with the golden retriever and then go on to breed golden retrievers or have many of them and enjoy them. And it's kind of like that.
I'm pretty moved.
Good.
It's just what I need.
Okie doke. Cool. Thank you so much for calling in.
No, thank you, Elaine.
You're welcome. Happy holidays.
Same to you.
A brave soul called in. Now, this is astounding. Thank you so much. So for anyone else who would like to call in, the number is 321-806-3159. 806-3159. You know, there are these classifications of angels. Many of you have heard the words cherubim and seraphim. And you kind of see these little baby angels tumbling over one another and having a good time of it. There are cherubim and seraphim. Indeed, there are. There are angels that attend, and I love this one, there are angels that attend every mother who is delivering a baby. That thought just thrills me. There are angels who attend every bed for the death, for the leaving of the person. And that holds true of no matter how the person came in or left. Over the weekend, I heard a little news clip, I think it was on a Delta Air flight, that a baby was born in midair, I think over in North Carolina, so I guess that's what goes on his birth certificate. And you would think, whoa, that'd be a pretty challenging spot to have an angel. I guarantee, as they called up any help from the passengers and devoted the entire first row of seats to the birthing process, there were not one angel in attendance, there were many. So, an extraordinary birth. There's angels in attendance at a birth that doesn't go all that well, meaning the baby turned around, either in the birthing process or the mother was lost, so-called lost. There is no such thing. The mother's role was complete in the birthing process, and the mother is no longer in a physical body. That's the long and short of it. When a baby comes in and the mother does not stay, the mother's job was complete. The mother's only job was to bring, well, the only job up until that point was to bring the baby forth. So there were angels involved in both the coming and the going. There's angels involved in those little babies that are the NIC, what they call the NIC babies in the intensive care unit, neonatal units and things. Angels flood around hospitals. They must have a whole ward of angels for hospitals. And sometimes you can actually feel them when you step into a place of healing, if you're not too terrified of what you're going in to see in the first place. You kind of have to get out of your own way to see them and feel them in hospitals. They're in nursing homes and retirement homes. They're in schools. They're in schools even where there's going to be a horrific tragedy, where there's guns and rifles and all that jazz, because their assignment was to help the little ones cross over if that's the time they're supposed to do that. So there's angels for the coming and the going. There's the angel of death. Now, the angel of death, I have to believe that angel has a lot of helpers. Because, again, it would be like asking Michael the Archangel to be everybody's guardian angel. Logically, it doesn't make sense to me. I need a little sense in some of this mystical stuff. So, the angel of death has helpers, no matter where that soul is choosing to exit its body. It could choose to exit suddenly. It could choose to exit by its own hand. It could choose to exit after years of being in a vegetative state on some life support machine or something like that. But there's always a helper bee going out. A number of years ago, I had a wonderful experience. You may or may not think this was wonderful, but I was very honored and blessed to be part of this experience. And it's just an experience. It's just a story. And it doesn't mean much other than I'm sharing a story, hopefully to kindle some of your stories. It was about maybe 8 years ago, and I was living in another town. It was morning, and I received a call from my most dear son, who was calling me from work, which was very unusual at 10 o'clock in the morning because he just goes about and does his thing at work. And he's like, Mom, so-and-so is in trouble. And he referred to his two best friends, a couple, who had a baby that was about 18 months old, maybe 16 months old, and that baby was in trouble. And my son was like, Mom, would you pray for this? Pray for him. They need help. They need help. Send help. So I sat down and I began to meditate and thought very deeply and did my job. About an hour later, I get another call from my son. And he's like, Mom, something's happened. It's worse. Really, send in the reinforcements. So I sat down again. And this time, I saw the baby. I'd never met this baby, but I saw the baby in the arms of what I knew instantly to be the angel of death. Now, the mommy part of me kicked in. I had no ego in this. It was the sheer compassion for my son's friends and for this little one, and not quite trusting that the angel of death knew what it was doing. So I started to talk to this little baby, saying, Oh, baby darling, you don't have to go forward. It's okay. You can stay. You can stay. You can stay. Please, you can stay. You can stay. And now I'm talking to the angel going, I'm so sorry, but if that baby wants to stay, couldn't you think of turning around? And the angel continued forward. The baby had actually been in those last hours on life support. The life support, unbeknownst to me, had been unhooked. And during that final connection with the angel of death, the baby left. So it was quite a privilege to see and be part of such a profound experience, and then try to help my son deal with it. My son is very sensitive and frightened for his own little 2-year-old at the time. So I grew in compassion. Certainly my son did. And I understood clearly, because I could see it, this angel of death. Now, what I do question at this point is, was that angel inside of me? And I believe it actually was. Now that I am growing deeper in understanding, because all is in all. So I was in it, and it was in me. This baby was in me, and I was in it. And that's why we are omnipotent. All is in all. When I used to speak on angels, because I did a lot of talks up in the northeastern part of the United States on delivering angel messages and bringing forth all sorts of angel things, and people had wonderful experiences, which sometimes there would be sobbing, and it was pretty astounding what would be happening in these tender and loving angelic talks. I chose not to go back to the Northeast this year for some very profound reasons. But one of the deepest ones is throughout this entire year, countless ways, my psyche kept dying. So the person who delivered those messages, she's gone. She was a great gal. I was very fond of her. But the one who's morphing has now a greater understanding that, but I am that force. You are that force. You know, if I'm good at playing the piano, you might say, oh, she's a concert pianist. Well, that's one aspect of me. Perhaps one aspect of you and me is I'm an angel. Perhaps you are too. And today, maybe I'm the angel of triumph. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm the angel of success and the angel of abundance. I kind of figure if I'm all in all and you are all in all, we're it. But in our childlike innocence, we still are attached to maybe there's something out there. Maybe there's something else. Let me think about it. So you could see I'm a bit at a changing point, a transition point, which the year called 2016 for mankind was all about changings and transformation. So I got the memo. It wasn't always easy following the memo, and I guarantee anytime I thought, all right, I got the memo, all is done, well, then I'd get the next little gentle or not so gentle tap, sometimes on the forehead and sometimes throughout my entire being. So, you know, in these classifications, it's like those of you who are scientists. There are classifications in the world of science. And yet, the whole umbrella is science. And there's no separation, really. It's all one. So the cherubim and the seraphim and something called the principalities. But there are angels of the sacred flames, which I am very, very attuned to. And the sacred flames, well, again, they're inside of you. There's the violet flame. The violet flame is the Saint Germain energy. And those energies and those angels, if you'll call them up, they don't have to be right smack outwardly in front of you, but in your inner eye, they're right there. There's another wonderful tool out there some of you should really think of getting. It's called the 7 Sacred Flames. That's a little challenging to actually get, and it is, in my reality, it's a little expensive. It's $35. If you can't find it out there, email me, order a copy, and I'll get it to you. So that's a little bit about angels and some of the services that I now offer at this time, because I just sent this out in a mailing yesterday, which is why you need to go on my website and see what is this heavenly holiday smorgasbord that I sent out. Because it's time not only to support, but honor the new cycle that's coming in, because it's a cycle of renewal. And it's a cycle designed to revitalize our power, energize new possibilities, and actually set us on the straight and narrow path of ecstasy. So at this time, every year, I offer something called traditional angel messages. And I actually tune in to the angels within you and deliver for you a message that perhaps right at this moment you're not able to access, or you want a different perspective of it. This year, I've offered stuff that